So recently I just received a comment from a student saying that he has done everything right. He has worked really hard for the last 3 years, but he has not cleared the examination. Whereas he has some friends who have not even completed their coaching, but they have cleared the examination. So he doesn't believe that working really hard and doing everything correct is correlated with getting the result. He thinks that these are not proportionate. Some people can get lucky and some people, they do not get lucky. Right now, regarding that, I want to shed some light. So I have been teaching for a long time now. Even sometimes now I make mistakes. I have friends, I have colleagues who have 10 years of experience, 15 years of experience in corporate life, in business life. They are experts in their field and still they make mistakes even now. There are things that they do not know. There are things that they still have to work on. They still have to learn. They take classes. So thinking that you have done everything correct, that you have done everything perfect, but you're not getting the result, I think it's a little arrogant to say like that or think like that. It puts you in this limiting mind space where you think nothing is in your control, you have done everything correct and there is no scope of improvement, which is not true. No matter how much you have prepared, there is still scope of growth, there is still scope of improvement. It always is. Just look around yourself. The first time you purchased a smartphone, it had a certain camera quality, it had certain memory features, then it got updated the next year, then it got updated the next year. So these products that are selling for hundreds and hundreds of crore rupees, these products also are not perfect. The first time they are put into the market, they are actually the first prototype and they are improving again and again. These companies, they don't wait till they get the perfect product to start selling these products. Okay, so same way for you also, the first prototype of your preparation might not be as good. You keep working on it, you improve something, and then there is going to come a time when your standard of performance is going to match the standard of performance that the institute requires from you, the CA Institute or the CS Institute. When that happens, you will definitely crack the examination, right? You just have to figure out where you can actually improve. So now let's talk about things that you can improve. Let's brainstorm together and let's try to figure out where you lack. Okay, so out of all of these points, maybe something might click for you. And then using that point, you can prepare better, you can improve your preparation, and then you can score better. First of all, let's think about your preparation. Basically, your mark sheet itself is going to give you an idea as to where you lack. If you have good marks in accounts versus you don't have good marks in audit, then compare your preparation in both of these papers and you will be able to identify that in accounts you have actually given more hours. You have actually sat down and solved 500 questions over and over and over again, versus maybe in audit you haven't done it. Maybe in audit you have just studied from summary notes. Okay, and that is not sufficient. So accordingly, you will have to level up your preparation. So in those subjects specifically, see how was your preparation. Were you able to complete the course? Were you able to complete the paper? Were you able to revise whatever you had studied? Did you check the exam papers? Did you do other mock papers, revision test papers? Did you make some notes or not? You got to find out the weak areas. So that is the first point. And then you got to work on those weak areas. The next thing we got to look at is how much paper were you able to complete in the examination. Generally, I say that you should try to complete 100%. But for most of us, we're not able to complete 100% paper in 3 hours. But still, if you got to have a good chance of passing the examination, you should complete at least 90% of the paper. If you have properly attempted 90% of the paper, there is high chance that you will clear the examination. Out of that also, it may be possible that you knew 60% and 20 to 30% is something which you just tried to answer. Right? Again, that is going to give you where you lack, which were the questions that you were not able to answer. Whether there was problem in analyzing the questions, whether it was problem that you read the questions very slowly, whether there was a problem that you had a slow speed. You did not catch up on the questions. You were too late. Maybe in one of the questions you got stuck. You stayed stuck in that question for a very long period of time. And because of anxiety, you wasted the other part of the paper also. Let's say instead of 90% paper, you actually only completed 40% or 50% of the paper. Now, if you completed only 50% of the paper, then how do you expect to pass the examination in that particular paper? Your marking itself is going to be from 50%. So you got to see why that happened. It may be because your preparation itself was not strong enough. It may be because that last 1.5 days you messed up and you did not complete the revision, so you did not remember anything. Okay, it may be possible that your speed is too slow, you were not able to complete everything, right? It may be because of other reasons, you got sick, or maybe you got distracted, or maybe you got stressed, or something else. You got to figure that thing out, and then you got to write it down somewhere so that you don't repeat that mistake again. Next possible reason why you could be getting less marks is your presentation. In your examination, if you're at final level or if you're at inter level, you're expected to have professional presentation in the examination, right? Now, whether you have it or not, you got to check it. Okay, so when you're writing a law paper, there is a certain way you got to write the answer. You have to write the provision first, then the analysis, then the conclusion. You got to remember the sections if you are at the final level or the CS professional level. You're expected to quote which act is the law from. You got to state the key words properly. Now, in practical questions also, there are working notes that you have to write down. There is a summarized statement that you got to create to save time. You got to be really quick at calculation also. Sometimes a question might require you to state an assumption, whether you're writing that assumption or not. Whether your presentation is apt or not, that is also something which can save you 10 marks to 20 marks. Next thing, please note if you have completed the syllabus or not. And if yes, you were able to complete the syllabus, then were you able to properly revise it or not? See, because just completing the syllabus once is not going to be sufficient for you to remember all of those things and actually write it down in the examination properly. You got to revise it at least 2 times, right? Now, this revision is once during your 3 months break or 2 months break or 4 months break. Also, that revision is extremely crucial in that last 1.5 day. If you miss out on a few chapters in the last 1.5 day, then you will not recollect it. Even if you have studied it 2 times, 3 times before in your 3 months, 4 months preparation. So you got to figure out where did it get messed up. Did you complete the revision? Was that 1.5 day sufficient for you? Did you complete it? If not, what can you do better now? Okay, so maybe you can create some shorthand notes. Maybe you can download some good shorthand notes and use them for revision. Maybe you can have a better strategy this time to complete the syllabus and complete the revision also. So look at that point also and then fix your strategy. The next thing is maybe you did not have a strategy. Maybe you did not have a study plan. Maybe you studied when you felt like studying. Maybe you thought that you're studying really well because you were doing good 4 hours, 5 hours of study throughout the day. And the remaining time, maybe you were just hanging out or watching Netflix or something else. But according to you, you did really well. But maybe you did not. If you really want to pass the examination, maybe just level up. Maybe just get out of your comfort zone. Maybe in your house, if you're not able to study, go into the library and study. Maybe if you don't like waking up in the morning, wake up in the morning and study. Maybe actually say no to your friends. Maybe actually stop using that phone when you're actually studying. Maybe you're just thinking you did really well. You did not have a strategy. You did not have a study plan, or you were not following it properly. In that case, you can refer to this one video relating to strategy of passing the examination. I'm going to link it somewhere here in the I button and in the description box below. This time, probably you can actually follow a good strategy and work things out. Another very common problem for many students, which is rarely talked about, is the people around them and the mental health issues. Let me elaborate. For some students, you have some friends or your relatives who say some really weird things that discourage you. For example, a relative of yours is going to talk about that one CS student who could not clear the examination in 9 attempts, 10 attempts, 13 attempts. And listening to their whole story, you will feel completely discouraged. You will feel like the institute is bad. You will feel like this exam cannot be cracked. You will feel like no matter what you do, you will not be able to clear the examination. That's what you feel because that person triggered that insecurity in you. So instead of pushing you to feel more confident, to give your best, to believe in your preparation, that person tells you something which messes up with your head, messes up with your motivation. Right? There are people like that. You will have such relatives, you will have such friends. A few friends of yours, they are going to tell you that the paper came out of syllabus. The paper came so difficult, it was not possible to crack that examination, right? The paper was like this, the paper was like that, my preparation is so bad, that teacher is so bad, etc. Right? They will quote all possible examples that are negative and that are going to discourage you. Okay? So when that happens, you got to identify that. If talking to someone makes you feel negative, you kind of got to cut it off. You kind of got to block these people and stop listening to them and stop having any interaction with them for at least 3 months, 4 months, 5 months till you are done with your examination. It may be possible that you're doing very well and you're about to pass the examination, and then some person comes and that person breaks your momentum, that person discourages you. You probably will stop working as hard, and then even though you were supposed to pass, you might not. So you got to fix this. So those were some of the points that you can analyze and you can work on in your preparation to pass the examination. If you have any other ideas, please write them down in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed already, then please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it with your friends, and I'm going to see you again in another video. Hope this video helps you. Bye bye.